Let me talk to you today like an old friend. Not with urgency, but with truth. With the calm voice of someone who's seen a lot, studied a lot, and just wants to spare you unnecessary suffering. I want to talk about something simple. Eggs. Yes, those humble little shells you crack each morning, often without a second thought. Rich in protein, loaded with vitamins, a breakfast favorite for generations. But here's where many go wrong. It's not always the egg that's the issue. It's what you put beside it on the plate, what you mix it with. Because sometimes even wholesome foods can turn harmful when combined, especially as we age. Our digestion slows, our gut becomes more sensitive, and the body, which once processed anything without complaint, now speaks to us more directly. Through bloating, inflammation, fatigue, even chronic disease. And the worst part, these combinations don't just mess with digestion in the moment. Over time, they quietly set the stage for long-term damage. Gut imbalance, weak immunity, heart strain, sometimes even cancer. It's like a slow poison, a silent mistake repeated day after day. What looks like a healthy breakfast can turn into what I often call death on a plate. So let me guide you through 5 food combinations you must avoid with eggs, backed not just by experience, but by science. Because when your health is on the line, you deserve truth, not trends. Let me start with something surprising. Number 1. Eggs and bacon. Yes, the classic duo, a breakfast icon. But here's the reality. Eggs are rich in high-quality protein and essential nutrients. Bacon is heavily processed meat filled with saturated fats, nitrates, and preservatives. When you eat them together, you create a heavy load for your digestive system. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that combining animal proteins with processed red meats leads to elevated levels of TMAO. That's trimethylamine N-oxide, a compound now linked to heart disease, stroke, and kidney problems. It's not just about fat or cholesterol anymore. TMAO causes inflammation in the arteries and damages the inner lining of blood vessels. And for seniors, this is dangerous. Your heart, already working harder with age, cannot afford this added burden. Not only that, bacon's nitrates can react with the high iron in eggs to form harmful nitrosamines. These are known carcinogens, silent, but damaging. So what feels like a hearty start to the day is, in truth, a silent assault on your body's inner systems, day after day. Now let me tell you about number 2. Eggs and milk. It sounds innocent. Omelet with a glass of milk, or scrambled eggs made creamy with a splash of dairy. But this combination creates digestive confusion. Here's why. Eggs digest faster. Milk, especially cold milk, digests slower. When combined, milk delays the breakdown of eggs. This leads to fermentation in the gut. You may feel bloated, gassy, even sluggish, but over time this can cause gut flora imbalance. According to a study from the National Institutes of Health, improper digestion caused by incompatible food combinations contributes to leaky gut syndrome and systemic inflammation. And if you've ever wondered why you feel tired after what should be a protein-rich breakfast, this could be the reason. Ayurvedic medicine, which has guided human health for thousands of years, strictly warns against mixing eggs with milk. It causes what they call amai in the body, toxins. In Western terms, we'd say it leads to undigested food residue. And that residue, it turns toxic when it sits too long, especially in older adults. Your digestion is not what it used to be. So even the simplest mistake can have long-term consequences. Let's talk about number 3. Eggs with sugar. Now I know, you may not stir sugar into your eggs, but think about sweet sauces, ketchup, maple syrup, pancakes on the side, even baked goods like muffins or toast with jam. These introduce sugar into a protein-rich environment, and that's a recipe for digestive disruption. Studies from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry show that when proteins like those in eggs are mixed with refined sugars, it leads to a process called glycation. That means sugar molecules bind to proteins and create something called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. And these AGEs are terrible for the body. They damage collagen, cause cellular aging, and increase your risk of diabetes, arthritis, and even cognitive decline. Seniors are already more vulnerable to age accumulation due to slower metabolism and weaker cellular repair. So when you mix sugar with eggs regularly, you're aging your body from the inside. Slowly, quietly, but certainly. It's not just what you feel now, it's what your cells are feeling decade by decade. Now let's look at number 4. Eggs with soy milk or tofu. This one surprises many because soy is considered a health food, and in isolation it is, but not when eaten with eggs. Soy contains compounds called trypsin inhibitors. These block the action of trypsin, an enzyme your pancreas uses to digest proteins. So when you eat eggs with soy, you reduce your body's ability to absorb the very protein you're trying to benefit from. Research published in Food Chemistry confirms this interaction. The study showed that combining soy with animal proteins lowers amino acid availability and burdens the pancreas. Over time, this can lead to pancreatic fatigue. For an older adult, this matters. Your digestive enzyme production is already lower. You don't want to make it worse. It also means you're not getting the full benefit of the egg. The protein is wasted. Or worse, it ferments in your gut and produces toxins. Again, we return to the problem of incomplete digestion and chronic gut inflammation. Finally, number 5. Eggs with fruits, especially citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruits, or pineapples. I've seen this happen often, a plate of scrambled eggs and a fruit salad on the side. It seems wholesome, colorful, balanced, but it's anything but. The acids in citrus fruits react with the protein in eggs. This slows digestion and may cause the proteins to coagulate improperly in the stomach. That leads to bloating, acid reflux, and nausea. But even deeper than that, combining acidic fruits with eggs interferes with the absorption of certain vitamins, especially vitamin B complex and iron. A study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry explained how citric acid impairs iron absorption when combined with high-protein meals. Iron is essential for seniors. It fuels energy, brain function, and immunity. So what you thought was a nutrient-rich breakfast is actually robbing you of vital minerals. And in the long run, this subtle malnutrition shows up as fatigue, brain fog, or frequent illness. You see, the body isn't just a machine, it's a symphony. Every organ plays its part. Every food choice you make is either harmony or dissonance, especially after 60, especially when your digestion is no longer in its prime. The gut is now the gateway to your health. It influences your immunity, your brain, your heart, even your mood. What you feed it matters, and what you combine matters even more. It's not about demonizing eggs. They're one of nature's most perfect foods, but the context you eat them in changes everything. A single wrong pairing, repeated daily, is not innocent, it's damaging, and it often goes unnoticed until it's too late. So what should you do? Keep it simple. If you're going to eat eggs, let them be the star of the meal. Cook them with vegetables, spinach, tomatoes, mushrooms, even onions. These combinations are natural. They complement digestion, they support the liver and reduce inflammation, and they help you absorb the nutrients from eggs more effectively. Pair your eggs with fiber, with hydration, with movement, not with heavy meats, processed sugars, or conflicting acids. I've spent decades watching people suffer from illnesses they never had to endure. And more often than not, the root is in the gut. Not the genetics, not the fate, just the gut. And it's in your hands to protect it. Change doesn't require surgery, or pills, or fancy superfoods. Sometimes it begins with knowing which 2 items should never share a plate. That's all. A small shift, but a powerful one. So the next time you prepare your breakfast, pause. Look at what you're putting next to your eggs. Ask yourself, is this harmony or is this chaos? Your body is wiser than you think. It remembers every meal, every choice, and when you feed it right, it gives back in energy, in clarity, in long life. This isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom that comes from knowing and from choosing with care. Your health is not just in the food, it's in the pairing, in the timing, in the listening. And I hope today you listen, not just to me, but to your own body, because it has been trying to tell you this for years. And now finally, you are ready to hear. How do centenarians around the world eat their eggs? Let me take you on a journey today, not to a laboratory, not to a hospital, but into the kitchens of people who live the longest lives on this earth, the centenarians, the men and women who cross 100 years and do so with sharp minds, strong bodies, and open hearts. We always ask, what is their secret? What do they eat? How do they move? And today I want to focus on something humble yet powerful. Eggs. Yes, those same eggs we talk about so often. The question is not whether eggs are good or bad. The question is, how do these long-living people around the world eat their eggs? Because in their habits lie clues that science is only beginning to confirm. Let us start in Okinawa, Japan. This island has more centenarians per capita than anywhere else in the world. In Okinawa, eggs are not eaten daily, as in many Western breakfasts. Instead, they are enjoyed occasionally, always in small portions, and often mixed with vegetables like bitter melon or leafy greens. The traditional Okinawan diet is low in calories but rich in nutrients. When they do eat eggs, they steam them gently or add them to a vegetable stir-fry, making digestion easier and allowing the body to absorb nutrients more fully. A study published in the journal Mechanisms of Aging and Development showed that Okinawans have lower levels of chronic inflammation and better metabolic health markers than people in the West. Their careful and moderate use of animal proteins, including eggs, plays a part in this. Their secret is not just in what they eat, but in how they balance it. Then we move to Sardinia, Italy. In the mountain villages of Sardinia, you will find men and women who work the land well into their 90s and beyond 100. Their relationship with eggs is different from ours. They do not start their day with a heavy omelet or scrambled eggs loaded with cheese and bacon. Instead, eggs are enjoyed sparingly, often as part of a vegetable frittata shared with family. They might eat eggs 2 or 3 times a week, usually from free-range chickens that roam freely and eat a natural diet. These eggs are richer in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants. Studies, including research published in Nature Communications, show that the Sardinian diet, which is low in animal protein and high in plant foods and healthy fats, supports lower rates of heart disease and longer life expectancy. The lesson here is clear. It is not only about eating eggs, it is about the quality of the eggs and the company they keep on the plate. Let us cross over to Nicoya, Costa Rica. In this blue zone, eggs are viewed as a source of strength, but not an everyday indulgence. Older men and women in Nicoya might eat an egg with beans and corn tortillas, often for lunch rather than breakfast. This combination provides a balance of plant fiber, slow-digesting carbs, and protein, which keeps blood sugar steady and supports gut health. The Nicoyan diet is low in processed foods and full of natural, whole ingredients. Research from the Journal of Aging Research confirms that Nicoyans have lower levels of chronic disease and maintain strong physical function into very old age. When they eat eggs, it is part of a meal that honors tradition and respects the body's needs. In Ikaria, Greece, another region known for its extraordinary longevity, eggs appear on the table, but not in the way you might think. Icarians typically eat eggs once or twice a week, often boiled and served with a salad of wild greens and olive oil. These greens are loaded with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Olive oil, rich in polyphenols, further supports heart health and reduces oxidative stress. According to a study in BMJ Open, the Mediterranean diet, which Icarians follow, has been shown to reduce mortality from all causes, including heart disease and cancer. Icarians also eat slowly, share meals with loved ones, and view food as a celebration rather than fuel to be rushed. The simplicity and joy they bring to their meals are as important as the ingredients themselves. Finally, we look at Loma Linda, California, where a large community of Seventh-day Adventists lives. Many of these individuals live well into their 90s and beyond 100. Unlike other regions, many Adventists are vegetarian or limit animal products heavily. Eggs, when eaten, are often used as a side protein source, not as the main attraction. They might add a hard-boiled egg to a salad or mix a small amount into a vegetable-based dish. Their diets focus on legumes, whole grains, nuts, fruits, and vegetables. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that Adventists who followed plant-based diets had significantly lower rates of chronic diseases and longer lifespans than the general population. Their restrained and mindful use of eggs fits into this broader picture of dietary moderation and respect for the body. When you look at these centenarians together, you see a pattern. None of them demonize eggs, but none of them abuse eggs either. They eat them as nature intended, in moderation, in balance, always alongside plants, always prepared gently, always respected, and never with heavy meats, processed sugars, or conflicting acidic foods that disturb digestion. They understand something we often forget in modern life. That food is not only about nutrients, it is about harmony, about supporting the body, not challenging it. As we age, our digestion slows, our gut bacteria shift. Our need for gentle, supportive foods grows stronger. The centenarians teach us that longevity is not built in a day. It is built meal by meal, choice by choice. There is also a social dimension. In all these cultures, meals are not rushed. They are shared, eaten slowly. Laughter and conversation are as important as the food on the plate. Studies in the Journal of Gerontology show that social connection during meals improves digestion, reduces stress hormones, and supports a stronger immune system. The egg on the plate is only one part of a larger picture of well-being. When you eat in joy, in community, your body processes the meal differently, more effectively, more kindly. So the next time you crack an egg, think about these centenarians. Think about the grandmother in Okinawa who steams her egg with bitter melon, the shepherd in Sardinia who shares a frittata under the olive trees, the elder in Nicoya who eats his egg with beans in a quiet prayer of gratitude, the grandmother in Icaria who dips her boiled egg in olive oil while telling stories to her grandchildren, and the Adventist elder in Loma Linda who adds a small egg to her salad before an afternoon walk. Each one shows us not only how to eat eggs, but how to live, in balance, in patience, in joy. Your health is not a single choice. It is a collection of small, wise decisions repeated over years. Eggs can be part of a long, vibrant life if you treat them with respect. Listen to the lessons of those who have walked the path before you. They have already shown us the way. All we need to do is follow.